Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest.
Yeah, I did that without a microphone. Okay, so let's just do this again. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. In fact, you know what? Forget it. I'm going to start the whole damn thing over. Watch. We're going to go to standby. Then we'll start the stream. Hey now. I didn't let the stream start thing go. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. Actually, it's a weekend night live, which is an occasional occurrence on the weekends with your host, P-Dog Knight, who sometimes knows how to do the producing while he's doing the show. But hey, you know what? Everyone's got to learn, right? Boomers gotta boom, and I just did that. It's gonna be some light fare today, and if you have any breaking news or things that you see on Twitter, throw those in the chat and we'll check those out too. But for now, it's just gonna be the normal weekend kind of stuff, funny stories, maybe a joke here or two, and silly old me. So welcome to the Morning Night Live. Play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America. It's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P-Dog Knight.
All right, and stop the music. Good morning. Welcome to the weekend version of the Morning Night Live. Yes, Cannibal Caretaker, you are correct. Drunkle did nothing wrong. Yeah, I may talk about that for a little bit, but holy crap. It's just one of those things. If you're not sure what we're talking about, I'm sure you know. Most people who follow here follow some of these other same channels that we all watch. Drunken Uncle got yeeted from YouTube. No warning, no strikes, no nothing, just boom, he's gone. And they gave him some bullshit excuse. Basically, when the rules change, they change for the entirety of your YouTube catalog immediately. No grandfather clause, no nothing. And if you're on Twitter, make sure you let YouTube know that maybe they should rethink that comedy station known as the Drunken Uncle. And all right, so my purpose on the weekends. So let me just do a poor transition here. The purpose of the weekend is I usually just come up with some funny stories. Usually I get them from my favorite news aggregator, the Ace of Spades, Moo, I like to call it. And usually they have a pretty good little bit of humor at the beginning on a Saturday. And so we're going to do the Saturday night joke from the Ace of Spades here. I'm just going to read it because it's pretty good. And it's actually, this one's, I don't know if this one's even funny. This one's a bit more instructive than you'd normally get from the Saturday jokes. Sometimes they're funny, but this one maybe is a little bit too close to home, but I'm going to tell you it anyway. One day, a florist went to a barber for a haircut. After the cut, he asked about his bill, and the barber replied, "I cannot accept money from you. I am doing community service this week." The florist was pleased, and he left the shop. When the barber opened up his shop the next morning, there was a thank you card at the door and a dozen roses waiting for him. Later that next day, a police officer comes in for a haircut, and when he tries to pay his bill, the barber said again, "I cannot accept money from you. I'm doing community service this week." The police officer was so happy, and he left the shop. The next morning, when the barber went to open up the shop, there was a thank you card and a dozen donuts waiting for him at the door. Then a member of Congress went in for a haircut, and when he went to pay his bill, the barber again replied, "I cannot accept money from you. I'm doing community service this week." The member of Congress was very happy, and he left the shop. The next morning, when the barber went to open up his shop, there were a dozen members of Congress lined up waiting for their free haircut. And that, my friends, illustrates the fundamental difference between the citizens of our country and the politicians who run it. So there you go. Anyway, all right. P-Dog Night, so bloody late, but I hope you're having a great end to the year and a happy new year. Well, actually, I am having a decent end of the year. I really, things are going well. I mean, I'm not one to complain about stuff. We've had some changes in our life here where my wife has left her job and she's taken on a new job, and it's caused a little bit of a challenge for us, but that's okay. It's working out, and I'm still doing my thing, and I'm happy just to be me. Wouldn't you be happy to be me? Come on, man. So anyway, I am so glad that those of you who are slowly running in. Midnight Next, I just cut my own hair. Yes, I do cut my own hair too, but I haven't done it for a while, and there's a reason for that. I got a video that I'm making where I need to have a full beard for one part of the video, so I'm growing out my beard naturally. And then, actually what I'm doing, I didn't do my Christmas video this year, but I'm starting my Christmas video for next year right now. So that'll explain the beard. Perhaps you know what I'm talking about. Perhaps you don't, but hey, doesn't really matter. So I just have a few, some of the stories are humorous, some are weird, some are whatever. And like I said, if you have anything that's popping up on Twitter or something you want to talk about in the chat, let me know, and I'll certainly make sure that we check those things out too. In fact, there's a couple things on Twitter one that caught my eye, and I hadn't seen this article. I know Sinatra brought it up in the Monkey in the Morning show this morning with the ranting monkey, and I didn't really take a look at it, but the headline, I'll just give you the headline, and you'll put on your thinking caps, because this headline is going to confuse you. But transgender man gives birth to non-binary partner's baby with female sperm donor. I'm going to read it again. Transgender man gives birth to non-binary partner's baby with female sperm donor. Now, and here it is on Twitter. I'll show it to you here. Here's the picture they sent with it, or put with it, from the Daily Mirror. Okay, so for a long time, and when we started getting into the topic of gender, the people who were gender activist or transgender active, or the activists who want to change our view of gender, for a long time they wanted you to distinguish between gender and sex. And so it's always been my understanding, when you talk about physiological sex, that's what you're talking about with male and female. And then gender is basically how you live your life or express your, gender. They call it gender because they're gender, whether you determine as masculine, feminine, whatever they call it. But now there are no rules anymore. So now this article saying transgender man gives birth to non-binary partner's baby with a female sperm donor. Let me just put this into you in strictly sexual terms, as in physiological sex. A woman and her female partner, a female, I'm sorry, see now that's one of those things. Can you say woman anymore to mean female? A female and her female partner had a baby with the sperm donor from the sperm of a male, because that's the physiological terminology. They're oh my God. I'm trying to be respectful about this stuff. Good morning. I got to say good morning to everybody. I try to be respectful about all this stuff, but I'm at a point where I just don't care anymore. I don't want to talk about it anymore because you guys change the rules constantly. There are no rules. It's whatever you say it is. And if I don't either understand or agree with your new rules, I'm the hateful one. No, no, you're just an idiot. Okay. We have a language, and it's funny because there's so-called scientists out there who now are trying to tell you that, oh yes, well, there are multiple sexes and this and that, blah, 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 blah. And I did my I did my doctoral thesis on the fact that there are many multiple types of sexes. Well, yeah, there are anomalies. People who have, and you can't even say that they have a birth defect anymore, because are you saying that I'm a defective person? Are you saying that I am not valid? Nah, I'm not saying that. You're absolutely a valid human being, and no one's complaining. They're just saying that you have a birth anomaly that makes it either impossible, more difficult to determine what your actual physiological sex is, or what, or just determine whatever. No, it's just an anomaly. Just like a person with Down syndrome is an anomaly. Just like a person born with one arm is an anomaly. It just happens, and it doesn't make you any less of a person, but it doesn't change the fact that they're in the reproductive cycle. There are male and female, okay, and that's what physiological sex refers to. It doesn't refer to your gender that that now you've separated from sex, even though when we talk about anyone else in the animal kingdom, we talk about their physiological sex. We determine the sex of animals in the animal kingdom so we can determine how they reproduce. And it doesn't matter whether or not they can reproduce. It's whether or not they have the physical parts to reproduce that may or may not be working. So a woman who has a baby, who can't have children because she has a problem with her uterus or whatever, doesn't make her any less of a female or a woman. It just means that she has an anomaly that makes her unable to reproduce. Someone who has a hysterectomy at age, 55, doesn't mean they're not a woman after they have a hysterectomy just because they cannot reproduce. They are a female because they are a physiological female. And so it's just so annoying that when you start seeing these stories, no, this is a woman gives birth to her partner's choice because they got artificially inseminated from a male. Okay. And maybe it could be just the Daily Mirror's getting the terminology wrong because they've mucked it up so much and tried to make it so complicated. Yes, we know there's anomalies everywhere. We know there's people who decide to live their life as the other, whatever, gender. Gender is, the gender politics has gotten so out of hand. It's just fucking weird. I'm sorry. And you know what? And again, I respect people. I respect people that I know and work with that go through all these different things. But God, please, just stop trying to muck up the waters. If you need that to feel special, you know what? There are people who will let you feel special. I don't care. It doesn't make you special to me. It just makes you a person who wants someone to say the right words for you. I'm sorry. You're not that special to me. I don't care. All right. And that's what I have to say about that. All right. Let's say a quick good morning to everybody. First of all, welcome Cannibal Caretaker, who gets the bell for being here first. Yay! You get the bell. That's the first time. That's the first time I have been able to give you the bell. In fact, I'm not even sure if that's a different name or just someone who just started coming here, but I'm glad you're here. Good morning to Pincalo, the Driving Ape Man, and good morning, Richo, Midnight in Exile, Duck Dog, Faithless, Sheograph, Maniac. I said Maniac Man. Who else is here? Peter Allman. Hello. Good morning. good morning to, I think that's everybody who's in the chat. Green Thunder, Demighty, I see you popped in down there. And Check Your Logic. I'm glad you're all here. And anyone who's just lurking in the background, you don't have to show yourself. You don't have to. If you just want to lurk in the background and listen wherever you are, that's great too. I appreciate you being here. All right, so now we got some stories that are different. On, like I said, it's a weekend. We don't always have the normal stories, the normal politics, the normal news. We have stories that just kind of stick out and stand out for their own reason. By the way, I'm gonna say this again during the stream. If you have stories that you want to include in the mix, you can let me know in the chat, or you can just at me or DM me at PDogKnight right down here. My Twitter handle's down there. You can do them on Twitter in direct messages, and that's or even just at me, and I'll find them during the show later. But anyway, let's go to some of the stories that you may not have heard about. They're a little bit different. They're a little bit what's the word, so to speak? They're just interesting stories that pop up, and most of these I get from my favorite news aggregator, the Ace of Spades blog. So good morning, Functional. How you doing? Hey, good morning, Dumbbeard. How you doing? You are lurking here, getting ready to do my family's Christmas stuff. Speaking of Christmas, yeah, today's Christmas stuff for me too. As soon as I'm done with the show, we're gonna take down all these. You see these Christmas decorations back down there? We got the tree back there, and I got the little village over there, and all the stuff on the piano, and the stuff in there. We got Christmas. It looks like Christmas threw up on our house, but now it's time to pack that all that stuff away. I didn't mean to freak you out, Functional, that I'm streaming on Sunday. Good morning, Kitty Stalker. Good morning, Irate Prostate. So anyway, this first story is a good illustration of how sometimes government just functions to figure out how they can spend your money in stupid ways. This is a perfect illustration of it. This is over in somewhere in Great Britain, I believe. Police spend $1.5 million on electric cars that are too slow to catch criminals. Oh, so typical. At least 448 green vehicles have been bought by the police forces across the country in a bid to meet emission targets. Am I buffering? Is that one of those? Yes, I am. What the hell? Okay, can you hear me? Is it janky today? Okay. Did I change something in my setup? No, I don't think I did. All right, well, we'll have to check the setup. Can you hear me? That's a good question. Can you hear me? That's the question of the day. Oh, shoot. What did I do? Hang on, let's check the output here. Let me see if I can make a change midstream. Doesn't look like I can. Did I change anything, though? All right, I'll tell you what. Give me a few seconds here. And am I back now? Is that the deal? I'm going to refresh my screen. It usually takes a bit to get this stuff rolling correctly. I'm going to have to make some breaking up bad. Okay. That's good to know. I'm going to have to redo the settings. I was tinkering around with the settings yesterday, hoping that it would make it better. And it certainly did not do that. And it's still frozen there. Gosh darn it. Sorry, guys. And now it's not. It's still frozen on my screen. Oh my god. Breaking up bad. Oh, no, I'm not. For those of you who just saw the part of that, no, I'm not selling meth. Holy crap! What the hell? Oh, do I got a pause on? No, gosh darn it. Well, I see my stream bot came on here and said share this stream with people you know. But all right, hang on a second. I'm going to put you on a quick standby here. Oh, now it's running. It seems fine now. All right. Well, we'll see how it goes. It says excellent connection and everything. I'm going to keep going. obviously you're hearing this a little bit after it's happening because I'm just reading it from the chat. Okay, we're gonna keep going. Hello, Rolling Bear. How you doing? Yeah, there's a little bit of delay on what I hear, so I apologize from the chat. All right, I'm gonna keep going here. It's a weird thing happening, but whatever. All right, so at least 448 green vehicles have been bought by the police forces across the country in a bid to meet emissions targets, but there's just one slight problem. They aren't much good at chasing crooks or rushing to save people in crisis. Practically all the vehicles, which cost 1.49 million pounds altogether, are used for non-emergencies and for bosses to travel to work. Oh, great. Official police reports say it takes too long to charge the batteries to be ready for a hot pursuit at a moment's notice. They also say there's too much risk of them running out of juice before the end of a shift. Great. According to figures obtained from under the Freedom of Information Act, 30 of the UK's 46 police forces bought or leased the 448 green vehicles. Several authorities refused to reveal how much they spent, meaning the collective figure is likely to be well over the 1.49 million. Tory backbencher and former constable David Davies wasn't impressed by the findings. He said police bosses need to show a bit of common sense. I've been in a police car on so many occasions when an emergency call has come. You can't predict what's going to happen, and so they need to be very careful when using electric cars. Official reports from a number of forces, including Kent Police and Staffordshire Police, admitted electric vehicles take too long to charge and aren't kitted out for the operational requirements of a chase. Oh my gosh. So now I'm 30 seconds behind. Okay, well, you get a little bit of a freeze. I see what's happening there. Anyway, so yeah, and that's just some typical government shit, isn't it? They buy a bunch of shit and the shit don't work for what they need it for. Video frozen, but audio's fine. Are we still having problems? God. It looks like it's let's see, frames detected. Skip frames 94% over the last 2 minutes. And we're frozen again. Good God. Okay, and I know you're hearing this 30 seconds after it happens, and so I'm just seeing it. I'm just seeing it later. Anyway, we're gonna keep going. I don't care. I'm just gonna do my best, and we'll try to enjoy the morning. I don't have a whole lot this morning anyway. All right. Second story. Oh, you know what? So I know you've been watching the rise of the Impossible Whopper. Gentlemen, you might want to think twice before you begin making that a regular staple in your diet. Warning, what men need to know before eating Impossible Whoppers from Burger King. Men, before you eat your next Impossible Whopper from Burger King, I would kindly suggest you read this. Is Burger King at the forefront of population control? Does this sound crazy? I am, but that is besides the point. Now, here's the thing. So, apparently, this Dr. James Strangle at Tri-State Livestock News says, now let's compare the estrogen hormone in an Impossible Whopper to the Whopper made from hormone-implanted beef. The Impossible Whopper has 44 milligrams, or it might be micrograms or milligrams of estrogen, 44 milligrams. And the Whopper has 2.5 nanograms of estrogen. Now let's refresh your metric system. There are 1 million nanograms in 1 milligram. That means an Impossible Whopper has 18 million times as much estrogen as a regular Whopper. That means just 6 glasses of soy milk per day has enough estrogen to grow boobs on a male. That's the equivalent of eating 4 Impossible Whoppers per day. You'd have to eat 880 pounds of beef implanted from an implanted steer to equal the amount of estrogen in 1 birth control pill. So basically, if you're eating Impossible Whoppers, You're getting, what is it, 18 million times as much estrogen as a regular Whopper? The doctor recently broke down the facts behind Burger King's vegan Impossible Whopper, discovering that it may not be a healthier option when it comes to caloric or protein intake, and that it has a whopping 18 million times more estrogen than a standard Whopper. 18 million times. Wow. I wonder if you're looking to grow man boobs or decrease your libido. Maybe you found your new burger. The man boobs are an annoyance, but the decrease in libido and possible reproductive problems are huge. So anyway, yeah, stay away from the commie burgers. Good point. Midnight in Exile. Good point. All right. Next story. What's the next story we got here? Let's see. Oh, yeah, this dude, I don't really understand. This dude, okay, this is interesting, but it's weird. It's weird. It's weird. Man with implanted chip unlocks Tesla with his hand. A Utah man blurring the line between man and machine by implanting chips in his hands that allow him to, among other things, unlock his Tesla. Ben Workman of Provo said he currently has 4 chips implanted in his hands, including an electronic Tesla key that allows him to unlock his car with the wave of his hand. I play tricks on people who don't know that I have it in my hand, and I try to convince them a banana is the key, and then I hold a banana up, and the chip unlocks the door. Other chips in Workman's hands allow him to unlock doors at work, log on and off to his computer, and share contact information using the same technology as Apple Pay and Google Pay. He said most of the chips were installed by a family member. What? What? Wait a minute. Installed by a family. I hope the family member's a doctor. He said most of the chips were installed by a family member, but he required the help of a piercing studio to implant the Tesla key. Hold up. So this dude had friends and family do this? Workman said he's also has a magnet implanted in his left hand that he uses for magic tricks. Oh, dude. There's some crazy people in the world who do crazy dumb shit. I'm just waiting for him to get some kind of either some kind of toxic shock or some kind of metal, allergy reaction from having shit implanted into his hands and his fingers and stuff. Holy shit. Somebody get Morgan Spurlock talking about my chat's so far behind. I'm talking stream, so I'm just catching up on the holy shit. Oh, good point, Faithless. Oh, the chat must be catching up. Wait until they change the code, and he has to upgrade his hand. That's hilarious. Anyway, all right. This next one. Oh, now this is what I brought up because, so my wife and I, when we were getting Christmas gifts, my wife had been talking to my daughter's, I'm going to call him boyfriend still, even though I think my daughter, let's just say my daughter's future fiance. I know that's going to happen sometime, but she bought him one of those 23andMe tests because he was talking about it with his family. Now, in his case, his mother is adopted. So they've talked about this before. And so she got him one of those 23andMe kits for Christmas. And it was, it was pretty cool because, his mother has always wanted to do that, and he's always wanted to do that just to get some idea of what her heritage is. Well, her mother, but now there's a warning though, and because you got to be careful if you do that, and here's why. Woman buys boyfriend DNA test for Christmas, then learns that it was a really bad idea. Okay. Working out what to get a loved one for Christmas can be difficult, as you want to make sure it's the perfect present. One woman knew exactly what to get her boyfriend when the holiday season rolled around, and he had mentioned it previously. His partner was, oh gosh, this was one of those stupid ones that constantly add stuff and change stuff. Her partner was keen to try one of the at-home DNA testing kits, so she bought one for him. The gift arrived. She got it all ready and wrapped, but when then a massive family secret emerged, And she soon, God damn it, stop doing this. A massive family secret emerged, and she soon discovered that the kit probably wasn't the right thing to give him after all. The unnamed woman revealed all in a post on Reddit's Am I the Asshole forum. She explained how she told her boyfriend's mom about the kit and was stunned by her reaction. As soon as I mentioned the DNA test, she went completely pale and started to fidget, she wrote. She said, "Oh boy, that makes me nervous. You might want to wait on that gift, maybe until his birthday. His dad and I have to talk." Understandably, these comments freaked the woman out, but later she would learn why she couldn't give him the test. His mom soon confessed that her ex-husband wasn't actually the father of her 2 sons. He'd been unable to have children, so they had to use a sperm donor to start a family. The woman felt burdened knowing this big secret before her boyfriend did and confronted his mom, saying she had to tell him the truth soon. "I don't feel right keeping this from him," she said. She mentioned his birthday, which isn't until July. "I'm thinking they should tell him before the new year because there won't ever be a good time. He's 24. They've had plenty of years to find a good time." Anyway, could you imagine? Can you imagine? Oh gosh, it's too much. As soon as you mention fun around here, it goes crazy. God, it's doing it again. We'll figure that out later. But could you imagine you buy a DNA test, you think it's a great gift for somebody, and yeah, I gotcha. I gotcha. Oh, that's what the boomer thinks about. I'm back. I think it's gonna work now. I had to hook up to the landline because the my Wi-Fi seems to be acting up. That may have been the problem. So hopefully I've got it all figured out. You all good now? Yes. Okay. I wonder how long this is. This will give me a good idea to tell you how long I'm lagging because I clicked the audio about 10, 12 seconds ago. All right, we all hear. Can you all hear me now? Jesus Christ! Today's Boomers Moment is brought to you by Canada, the most cucked place on earth. Welcome to my Canadian friends. Yes, somebody put a 1 in the chat as soon as you hear me, so I know how far this lag is. Oh, I know. I can do that myself. Here, you're gonna hear me twice. Oh my God. Okay, it is about 10 seconds behind still, but I don't care. That's okay. We're going to keep going. Hopefully, everything's good. We have an excellent connection. Life is going to be good again. And no more cats and dogs sleeping together. And we're not in Canada, although we're close. We're in one of the states that are close to Canada. All right, here we go. Did y'all hear the DNA test story? Here's what I got to do. Since the show has been just, oh my God, what a fucking day. Here, we're going to put some music on because now I'm just feeling like I need to have some music to make my day feel better. Oh, good God. Let's do this. Click, click, click with good St. Nick. And we're going to start about here. Let me just make this so I make sure I have enough music for the whole show. There we go. Load more. blah, 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 blah. And back to the top here. Let's start with this one. I'm going to turn it down before I let you guys hear it. Oh my God, that's loud. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to add a little funk to the show. Oh, that was up already. Oh gosh, I probably blasted your ears out there for a second. We'll turn that down just a bit, just so you can hear it, but not have it blasting you out. And we're going to move on. We're going to move on to the next story. So the DNA test, you all heard that story. All right. Got a couple interesting stories here. There's a whole proliferation of emotional support animals around the country. I've heard all kinds of things. And an emotional support lizard and an emotional support chicken. Emotional support cats and dogs and horses and ponies. And people wanted them to take them wherever they get to go. Well, this is what I've never heard of. Japanese 80s porn. Yeah, something like that. Okay, you can hear the music. That's good. Here's one. Here's one you probably never heard of. There's a man fighting to retain his emotional support coyote. Goodness gracious. I've never heard of that before. Matthew Stokes says that his pet coyote Drifter is a dog in a coyote's body that was orphaned by his family. Aw, he's taking care of an orphan. Waterloo, Iowa. I thought for sure this would be a Florida man story. I need an emotional support hooker. That's funny. Now that the stream's working, let me do a quick shill. Forget this story for a second. The Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. Please be sure to share this stream now that it's actually functioning. And if you haven't done so already, hit the like button if you like what we're doing, or if you like the fact that the stream is working. Also, you can do super chats through the Streamlabs link in the description down below, or in the chat. It shows up every once in a while. Support your creator or your live streamer, whatever you want to call me. Support the big dog. And we're still close to that 500 mark. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers by Wednesday, which is the beginning of the new year. I think I need like 14. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your buddies and other streams to go support P-Dog. 14 more subscribers and we'll be at 500, and I will have a special show for a 500 subscriber show. So there you go. And you can follow me on Twitter. That's in the chat right now too, at P-Dog Night. You can click that, right click that, and follow me on Twitter. All right, let's get back to this guy with the support coyote, because I think this is a special story of love between a man and his animal. Not quite like that, though. I don't really think that came out correctly, but we're going to read it anyway. In Waterloo, Iowa, an Iowa man is trying to regain custody of a young coyote that he says has become his emotional support animal. This animal is a dog in a coyote's body, said Matthew Stokes about Drifter. That's the coyote's name. A youngster who Stokes said was left by a coyote family that had dug a den this past spring in his backyard on the outskirts of Waterloo. Drifter was an orphan pup looking for a pack, and I became his pack, Stokes said. I should have like some sad music for this one, shouldn't I? But we're going to stick with the what did you say? Japanese 80s porn music? I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't. First of all, being of the 80s, I have no idea what Japanese 80s porn music is. And I thought I was a worldly man. Anyway, he told the Waterloo Cedar Falls Courier that he was suffering at the time from a bone infection in a foot and was in danger of losing it. He said Drifter kept him going. Oh, that's so special. I had to take care of myself. There was nobody else there to care for him. He saved my life, and I saved his life too, said Stokes. But the pup was corralled by a neighbor. While corralled? What does corralled mean? That's a weird word to use. But the pup was corralled by a neighbor while roaming in the area in October and placed with a wildlife rehab agency. Oh, I see. Basically, the neighbor stole the coyote. This is not an emotional support animal. This is a wild coyote that he took out of the wild and decided to make a pet. Yeah, someone had said that in the chat. Yeah, it's actually a pet. Said Tracy Bell, director of
Wild Thunder Wildlife and Animal Rehabilitation and Sanctuary. Drifter is young and seems docile, Bill said, but his adult behavior and predatory instincts have yet to kick in. This is not a domestic coyote. This is a wild animal, Bill said. Wild Thunder's goal is to return the coyote to the wild. Stokes said he's obtained a letter from his physician that says Drifter. He went to get a letter from his physician. He got a note from his doctor saying that this is an emotional support animal. He obtained a letter from his physician that says Drifter is an emotional support animal because he helps Stokes with depression and anxiety. Well, get a dog. I'm sure, you know what, they'll find you an actual dog, because coyotes instinctively do shit that you don't want them to do. I'm sorry, it's very dangerous unless it's a fully domesticated coyote to take an animal like that out of the wild. Even if though you think they're just cute and cuddly as pups, they can become very, very dangerous. Stokes is in the process of applying for a U.S. Department of Agricultural license that to keep a dangerous animal, he said, and he's also studying a provision of Iowa law that would let him keep Drifter as an educational animal. Now, if he has professional training on how to train a wild coyote like that, maybe he can go get that. But it's just, you know what? It drives me nuts. People want to bring their animals on the planes, and they just make up some bullshit emotional support animal shit. You have to have an actual, I don't know. There's some kind of a certification or something that you have to have for that. In fact, we have because one of our very good friends who trains dogs, her dog is actually has gone through that training, and the owner and the trainer has to go through that training. And then this particular dog is one that they can go to hospitals and things like that with. But man, no one's gonna Jesus Christ, no one's gonna have a wild animal as an emotional support animal. I don't think any body that would sanction something like that is gonna let this go. So anyway, that's just a weird one. Another weird one from the Huffington Post. This one's kind of humorous. So apparently there was a man too intoxicated to work his steak and shake shift, so he robbed the place out of his steak and shake job called out. What? They don't know how to write. Because he was too intoxicated, then showed up anyway and demanded money while holding a coworker at gunpoint. The Gainesville. Oh, wait a minute. Gainesville. Is this Gainesville, Georgia? Oh, I thought it was Gainesville, Florida. I was going to think maybe it was a Florida man story. Oh, is this happening again? Is it doing it again? No, it's working. I thought Rest in Peace was for that. Oh, is this the one that got flushed? Oh, you're talking about the hamster or whatever, the emotional support hamster. Anyway, the Gainesville Times report that 20-year-old Contarius Gowans of Flowery Branch is charged with offenses including aggravated assault. Oakwood Police told investigator Todd Templeton said that Gowans called out. Okay, called out must be a Southern term for called in or called in sick. I've just never heard it used that way. Says that Gowans called out on Thanksgiving, went to the restaurant that night and held a gun to a coworker's head and demanded money. Gee, I wonder. He must have been drunk, because you would think that the coworker, I repeat, coworker would recognize the person holding him at gunpoint and demanding work. Police say the responding officers arrived to see employees running from the business, which had customers at the time. Police say an apparently still intoxicated Gowans briefly raised the gun at officers before dropping it. He was arrested after a brief struggle, during which a stun gun was used. It's unclear if Gowans has a lawyer. So, Mr. Gowans, I don't know which one of these is Mr. Gowans. These are just mugshots anyway. But, yeah. Always brilliant
to rob the place you work for. I'm sorry I didn't put that back on the screen, but I know we're having good problems here. We're just going to keep going, and hopefully we'll have some inspiring stories that I guarantee, even though the thing keeps freezing, I'm going to just keep chugging away. I guarantee that this next story will inspire you. It is one of those stories that it's a heartwarming story. It's very special. If you give you good feelings, and it'll be extra special when you share this story with the family. This is from the Moscow Times. Yes, I'm reading the HuffPost and Russian propaganda on the same stream. From the Moscow Times. Local authorities defend penis-shaped ice rink in Siberia. Where's C. Thomas when you need him around? Excuse me. You need C. Thomas to just throw out a penis now and then. And this story is for C. Thomas. C. Thomas, if you watch this show afterwards, because I don't see you in the stream, if you watch this show afterwards, I just want to let you know that I used the word penis in a story. Here we go. Local authorities in the Siberian city of Novosibirsk have defended their opening of a new ice rink in the city against criticism that says the structure looks like a penis. Officials opened the ice rink last Friday in front of Novosibirsk's Opera and Ballet Theater in time for the holiday season. Social media users immediately compared an aerial drone photographs of the ice rink, which is topped by a Christmas tree, with a penis. There's pictures of the ice rink. My name is Thomas. Is that not good? No, it is good enough. But C. Thomas always comes into the stream, into the chat. His first word is generally penis, and so this is a penis story for C. Thomas, who likes to say the word penis. Yesterday it was cock, because Bear Cock donated to the stream, and today the story is about a penis. Okay, so anyway, the penis. Local said the ice rink was a message from the government to his people. Novosibirsk's Vice Mayor Anna Tereshkova brushed off the criticism in a Facebook post on Sunday. Real art should be arousing, she wrote. Adding that the ice rink would not be dismantled despite the backlash. So, if you want a ice rink that looks like a penis, you can go to Novosibirsk, Siberia, for the penis. I'll just say it one more time. Penis. Alrighty then, moving on. Yes, the articles come from various sources, all kinds of sources. Some of it is Russian propaganda. Some of it is from the HuffPost, which is propaganda. For some of you, now some of you may like the HuffPost. I can take it or leave it. Okay, so apparently they're having some trouble in the Detroit area. That has nothing to do with people being shot or, jobs or anything like that. Apparently, they're having trouble with drivers doing donuts on I-94. Apparently, drivers doing donuts at I-94 license plate with a message to the a cock ring. Yes, there you go. Or a cock rink. Cock rink, ice skating cock rink. Something. Driver doing donuts at I-94 covered license plate with message to Detroit police. The Detroit Police Department is responding to what they're calling a dangerous and illegal 360 activity that happened on Sunday with a driver doing donuts on the I-94 freeway. Have you ever seen that happen? We were I can't remember where we were driving, and sometimes you see videos on the internet where people will do it at an intersection in the middle of a busy place. They'll kind of start doing donuts in their supercars and shit like that. I saw a video of that recently. Anyway, a large organized group stopped traffic for about 10 to 15 minutes on westbound Interstate 94 at Trumbull to make space for a late model Camaro to spin around in tight circles. Police have a suspect in custody who was at the location Sunday. The suspect was in a 2019 Dodge Challenger. He wasn't actively involved in the 360 activity, but he was present and involved in blocking traffic. The Camaro had unknown license plates. They're covering their license plates with a message to the DPD, Detroit Police Department said. I'm not going to tell you what that message is, but the message is despicable. Here's my message to them. We're going to find you and we're going to do. And when we do, we're going to arrest you and we're going to seize your vehicle. In fact, my plan with the Challenger is we're going to keep it. We're going to seize it and we're going to convert it into a police car. So here's some video of the blocked traffic here. Oh, I may have seen this video. Trying to see let's see what the plate says. Oh, they blocked it out. So this idiot is in a tunnel under the Detroit or I-94. They stopped all the traffic and started spinning out. I want to read what the plate says because the police seem to be upset about what the plate says. Oh, if I was in that camera, I'd be a little worried. Okay, so there you go. They put it on Instagram too. You know, it's amazing how many people put their illegal activities on social media. It's kind of weird, don't you think? Dead again. We're dead again? Okay. I'm sorry, guys. You didn't even get to see that. Oh, my God. We're talking like completely dead. Like it turned green. Jesus, what is going on? Well, I'll have to really work on my settings. Sorry, guys. It's really screwed today. I have no idea how to fix it. We'll have to figure it out later. Sorry, gang. Oh, and now it's playing. Let's see. That happened on Sunday with the... Okay, well, I know when it comes on the rebroadcast, it should come up fairly normal. Sorry, gang. I just can't figure this out. I'll have to go back and redo my settings again. Sorry. For those of you who are here, that is actually my last story today. And should I go through Twitter trends or not? This is really frustrating to have the stream go this poorly. But I'm going to get it fixed before, hopefully before the new year. Hey, I got a graphics card on the way, so that'll make a huge difference. And maybe we'll get this fixed by then, because I am not happy with what's going on here. I see a bunch of you coming back into the stream. And it seems to be working, although it's so far behind. I'm going back here. Plates. They're covering their license plates with a message to the... Yeah, see, that... Holy crap, that was like almost a minute and a half ago that I said that. So, anyway, let's just go through and see if anything special is trending on Twitter, and then I'm going to get out of here. Going into Twitter trends, like we always do, even though the stream sucks today. Probably... Oh, wow. Okay, so... when you go into Twitter trends, I always check the header that they put on Twitter trends. And today, apparently, there was a pretty bad thing going on. Suspect in rabbi home stabbing, charged with counts of murder and burglary, according to police. Here's his U.S. News. Authorities confirmed that a man attacked a Hanukkah celebration at a rabbi's home in Rockland County, New York, late Saturday. 5 people were taken to the hospital with injuries, and the suspect pleaded not guilty to charges of attempted murder and burglary. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo called the attack an act of domestic terrorism. Okay, that's fascinating. Here's the Associated Press story. Here, let's go ahead and let's click that story. Let's check what the Associated Press said. 5 stabbed, excuse me, at a rabbi's house on Hanukkah. Suspect arraigned. A knife-wielding man stormed into a rabbi's home and stabbed 5 people as they celebrated Hanukkah in an Orthodox Jewish community north of New York City. An ambush, the governor said, was an act of domestic terrorism fueled by intolerance and a cancer of growing hatred in America. Police arrested the suspect in Manhattan within hours of Saturday night's attack in Monse. Grafton E. Thomas, 37, had blood all over his clothing and smelled of bleach, according to prosecutors. He was arraigned Sunday morning and pleaded not guilty. Bail was set at $5 million. Ramapo Police Chief Brad Weedle said earlier said Thomas is being charged with 5 counts of attempted murder and 1 count of burglary. The 37-year-old suspect's criminal history includes an arrest for assaulting a police horse, according to an official briefed on the investigations. A lawyer representing Thomas at the arraignment said he had no convictions. The FBI is seeking a warrant to obtain his online accounts and were scouring digital evidence, the official said. They were also looking into whether he has a history of mental illness. The official was not authorized to discuss the matter publicly and spoke to the Associated Press on condition of anonymity. The stabbings on the 7th night of Hanukkah left 1 person critically wounded. Governor Andrew Cuomo said that Rabbi's son was also injured. He said authorities have not provided a motive. Well, wait a minute. If they haven't provided a motive, then how is it that Andrew Cuomo can say the governor said was an act of domestic terrorism fueled by intolerance and a cancer of growing hatred in America? If there's no, I mean, granted, now we know it very well probably was that, but he authoritatively said he's blaming on the growing hate in America. Well, who's pushing the growing hate in America, Andrew? Who's pushing the growing hate? I mean, you got to remember, the more you talk about the growing hate, I mean, I granted, you should, oh my God. I get tired of these stories. I mean, this story is probably the growing hate in America is probably going to go away as soon as they start seeing pictures of the suspect. And that's not okay. I mean, okay, we need to, if you want to address it, you need to address all of it. But at least it's in the AP here. I don't need to read any more of the story, but that's the headliner on Twitter today regarding that case. The Daily Beast. I'm going to be interested. Actually, I do want to see what the Daily Beast says about it. See how their story reads too, because it's funny. Well, let's see. Multiple victims reported. Machete attack. A machete. Now they're calling it a machete, not just a knife. Machete attacker stabs 5 at New York rabbi's Hanukkah celebration. A masked, machete-wielding man barged into a Hanukkah celebration and stabbed 5 people at a rabbi's home in Monsey, New York on Saturday evening, intensifying fears of anti-Semitic violence after a spate of incidents last week. The assailant escaped, but the New York Police Department quickly picked up a suspect. Law enforcement sources identified him as Gravis Thompson, yada, yada, yada. The terrifying ambush, which took place in Rockland County, a northern suburb that has the highest per capita Jewish population in the U.S., drew swift condemnation from public officials. Governor Andrew Cuomo called it an act of domestic terrorism. Okay, so they're pretty going straight forward with this so far. According to Ramapo Police, a man covering his face with a scarf knocked on the door at Rabbi Rottenberg's shul during the 7th night of Hanukkah, just as the rabbi was lighting the candle. The assailant rushed past the man who answered the door, who said he pulled out a machete and began stabbing people, according to several witnesses. He is said to have gone after terrified victims as they ran away and tried to access the adjacent synagogue before fleeing the scene after some of the guests hit him with chairs and a table. Good for them. They protected themselves. Whatever. Right to bear arms is what you do. And if a chair is your arm, then that's the right to bear arms too. Hey, good morning, Decode. And good morning, Mike Savage. I just noticed that you popped in. And Green Thunder to Mighty also, even though my stream is having problems today. So it looks like the Daily Beast is going pretty clearly just a straight story on this. But it always fascinates me. So down here, Governor Andrew Cuomo called the stabbings a cowardly act and directed the state police hate crimes task force to investigate the incident. Let me be clear. Anti-Semitism and bigotry of any kind are repugnant on our values of inclusion and diversity, and we have absolutely zero tolerance for such acts of hate, Cuomo said in a statement. In New York, we will always stand up and say with one voice to anyone who wishes to divide and spread fear, you do not represent New York, and your actions will not go unpunished. It's tough. In New York, it's two communities that are normally protected that are having the conflict. So it's hard to say how this is going to play out and the way they treat this. Because it's basically it's between the black people and the Jews in New York City, I don't know how they can. They're going to find a way to do it. I guarantee you, they're going to find a way to blame it on the president, even though it's two communities that aren't real. Let's just say Trump friendly. And it's been going on for years in that area of New York. It's not something that's new, but perhaps the violence, the increase in violence is new. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Anyway, moving on into Twitter trends, we're going to get back to get out of this one. That was the header. Trending number 1 on Twitter is "Happy Birthday Taehyung," and you know what Taehyung is? Anyone know what Taehyung is? It's K-pop. Fuck K-pop. I don't care about K-pop. I don't care about K-pop. So I'm not even going to click it. We're moving on. Number 2 trending, Jimmy Graham, something to do with the NFL. Weekly reminder that Jimmy Graham is effing worthless and Jay Sternberger should be seeing almost all of his reps. Is Jimmy Graham, I don't know. He plays for Detroit, I think. I don't know. He's a quarterback. People in Detroit are mad. Apparently the game's going on. Arsenal, that's soccer, trending number 2. End of decade LGBTQ is trending number 4. Oh, number 3 now. It's already moved up in the second that I clicked it. End of decade LGBTQ. It's a hashtag. Let's check out the hashtag end of decade LGB. Oh God, am I going to have to go? I'm looking at. I might have to. Okay, I'm going to do this so I don't accidentally put any nudie people on the screen. Okay, this is just a bunch of people who are telling you that they're LGBTQ and putting their pictures up. Okay, I don't get it. Switched it up with pink and glitter for the last sun gay of the whole decade. Okay, there's this thing, there's kind of, I don't know, every once in a while, you go through here and people start just putting pictures of themselves saying that they are what they are, and really? Why is that trending? I don't know. I don't care. Good for them for living their life to their fullest. I'm over it. Okay, moving on. Arsenal's trending because Chelsea came back to beat Arsenal 2-1 in the London Derby. Something. That's some soccer stuff. The Wolves. Liverpool versus the Wolves. Okay, that's more soccer. Bring Me Bojangles is trending, having to do with the NFL. What? Bring me Bojangles. Oh, you know what? It's got to be in some stadium where here's what they do. They tell you to tweet something while you're at a game, and then you win something. So apparently, Bring Me Bojangles. Bojangles is a chicken chain for those of you who don't know. Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. So they tweeted something in their section, and apparently that's trending on Twitter because everyone's doing it at whatever stadium this is. So apparently maybe it's the Panther Stadium or something, but they're all tweeting Bring Me Bojangles and putting a picture of themselves. Okay, that's cool. Moving on. Green Bay versus Detroit, where Detroit will probably be destroyed by the Packers today. I just don't. That's why in our neck of the woods we call them Detroit. We'll move on from that. Trending decade MVP. Is this MVP of the decade? Okay, there's all kinds of things here. Let's see. Replying to, the Athletic MLB. Okay, let's check this out. Apparently, let's see. Hey, MLB Twitter. Let's look back at the last decade. Copy and paste and reply to the Athletic MLB with answers about your team. Your team, best season, decade MVP, favorite player, and biggest moment. So if you're into baseball, I'm going to put this one in the chat. You can participate in that one yourself. The one that, like someone here, team, best team. Oh, team, Mike Trout, best season, Mike Trout, decade MVP, Mike Trout, favorite player, Mike Trout. And then ring question, their GM sucks. Imagine if Mike Trout wasn't so loyal. Okay, that's a baseball thing. If you want to participate, I put it in the chat. You can do that on your own. I'm not going to go through that one. Moving on. What else do we got? I just clicked it again. There we go. Tay, that's K-pop. Nope. Leno, that's Premier League Soccer. Lana, that's Premier League Soccer. I'm skipping that. Mustafa, more sports. We're going to skip it. Ty Sambralo, someone who plays for the Falcons, and we're going to skip that. Liver Pool, they're skipping that. Ganduzi, sports, trending that. Skipping Fleabag. What is Fleabag? Is Fleabag something to do with sports? Okay, watch Fleabag Season 2, meaning that he also watched the first season, which includes a scene where Fleabag beats her meat to his speech. What? Okay, so Barack Obama tweeted something that's trending today. Next up are my favorite movies and TV shows of 2019. Of course, there's also American Factory, a film from our own production company, Higher Ground, that was recently shortlisted for an Oscar. Well, you know what? It's going to get an Oscar because you were involved with it. And they're going to give you a trophy for being a Barack Obama so that they can somehow find a way to use it to dump on Trump, who never got an Emmy or whatever. But, so his favorite movies of 2019, American Factory, was one his own production company produced themselves. Amazing Grace, Apollo 11, Ash is Purest White, Atlantic's Birds of Passage, Booksmart, Diane, Farewell, Ford vs. Ferrari. Well, there's one good one. Oh, we watched The Irishman last night on Netflix, and it's like 3.5 hours long. And it you know what? It wasn't terrible, but and it's basically it's a kind of a story on the death of Jimmy Hoffa is what the story's about. And so they came up with an ending on how Hoffa died, and the last guy from basically that era was telling the story. It's interesting, but it was 3.5 hours of, you could sleep through some of it and not miss a whole lot. Anyway. Just Mercy, Last Black Man in San Francisco, Little Women, Marriage Story, Parasite, The Souvenir Transit. So some of these are obviously document. And a quick list of TV shows that I consider as powerful as movie. Fleabag. So Fleabag, I don't know what Fleabag's about, but the just the fact here that it says if Barack Obama said Fleabag is as powerful as movies, and the Academy Awards could say it too. Okay, no. Confirmed, Barack bought the Fleabag jumpsuit. I don't know. The Hamilton of TV. Watchmen and Fleabag. Obama remains the coolest. Can you believe this guy was president for 8 whole years? It seems like a dream now. Oh, good for you. Yes, this is just, okay, Fleabag's trending because it's Barack Obama worship. I can't do it. Lampard has to do the soccer. Purple means Taeyong, which is K-pop, and Happy Birthday, Mr. Lindo, which is more K-pop, and so Twitter can just suck it today. All right, now, hopefully, let's see if my stream's even running still. Okay, it kind of is, and it's not that far behind me either. It's still on the soccer first or second, third trending soccer things. So it's only that far behind. Everything is emotional support. Everything is gender identity. Everything is a fucking terrorist act. Oh, isn't that the truth? Boy, chat, I would sit here and interact with the chat, but it's so far behind where I'm at in the stream. It's kind of frustrating with the way the stream worked today, but and in fact, I actually probably should start taking down Christmas decorations. We want to get that done today in our house, which means, and plus, I think Lady Boomer will be here shortly, and I can go hang out with my wife on a good Sunday afternoon. Probably throw some football on the TV, and and hopefully have a great Sunday. So I think that's going to be it for today. Hey, I do, for those of you who are newer here, we're here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 3 p.m. GMT for people in other parts of the world like Richo, who it's bright and it's not bright and early in the morning. What is it? Richo, what time is it in where you are in Australia right now? I'm guessing around, I'm thinking 10 a.m. Let's see, noon. I don't know what your GMT is, but anyway, for those of you in other parts of the world who watch, I really appreciate that. It's kind of weird, I don't have a huge audience yet. I'm working on it. But just the fact that you're from so many different places is very cool. And so I do appreciate those of you who watch from other parts of the world and enjoy me talking about American politics or, just different. Well, it's funny because so many of the issues that we talk about affect everybody. And I know that we're the kind of that the ugly big brother from over the other part, but at least some of you think that way, and some of you like us. I appreciate the ones of you who like what we do, but it's funny that how now with the internet, with YouTube, with social media, everyone is so connected, and I make these friendships with people that are like so far away from me, and yet I feel like they're people I can just talk to on a daily basis. So it's kind of a cool thing how the world has evolved. 10 years ago, this little platform called YouTube was still a fledgling, 2009? Yeah, was it? Didn't YouTube come out in 2007 when it was mostly just cat videos and weird stuff? And they didn't have any rules. And they weren't kicking people off because they changed the rules. And then 600 videos ago, you did this mistake that they changed the rules so they kick you off. By the way, go and go mention Drunken Uncle on Twitter if you're on Twitter. Team YouTube seems to have yeeted Drunken Uncle, which is sad, and I just don't get it. They need to have grandfather clause anytime they make a new rule, because you can't go back and check every video for every new rule they make. It's like if you there's people been in here 10, 12 years who've made thousands of videos. You come in and say, okay, we changed the rules and now we're going to enforce it. We're going to enforce it, but we're not going to tell you what we're enforcing. We're just going to give you a letter that says you've made, multiple community guideline violations, and yet you've never had a strike on your channel. How can you have multiple community guideline violations if you've never had a strike? And that's what they did to Drunken Uncle. Now, granted, they changed how you can't harass, blah blah blah, this and that. Yeah, he's made lots of comedy videos regarding, say, cool or queer kid stuff, and Riley Dennis, who, and here's the thing, great, they're a protected class. Is that what it is? They're a protected class. You can't joke about them anymore. There's a whole lot of stuff on YouTube that's going to be going away, the way they're starting to enforce the rules. And the problem is you're enforcing them retroactively. If they suddenly, let's say they suddenly made a law that you couldn't drink before noon in your city, okay? And you have a video from 5 years ago where you were at a tailgate and you were drinking Bloody Marys at the tailgate, and it was 11 a.m. in the morning. And so now they've made a new law that you can't drink before noon that is effective December 1st of the year you're in. And the 2-year-old video of you drinking Bloody Marys at a tailgate party at 11 a.m., they come and they see it and they come arrest you for it. That's basically what they did to Drunken Uncle. It's like, oh, make a new law. Now we're going to go back and see if you broke this new law in the past, and we're going to call it community guideline strikes. In his case, they never even bothered giving him the community guideline strikes. They just said, whoop,
Bye-bye. And that's, in my world, that's bullshit. Oh, am I going to get a community guideline strike for saying the word bullshit? I don't know. It's nice to see that my, the stream's working again. That's good. Hey, before I go then, let's do this, because these stories are not pleasing me. Maybe we'll just go into, let's just go into plain old Twitter for a little bit. I want to go for a little longer. And so let's just see what's happening that's actually happening now. Oh my gosh. President Trump is tweeting again, of course. Now I don't normally, I've kind of fallen out of favor, or Gateway Pundit has kind of fallen out of favor with me. He's, and not because he's a bad guy. Jim Hoft, I used to actually, when he was a blogger, I used to follow Gateway Pundit, and let's put it this way. He's decided to make Trump his brand, and I'm not one to make Trump my brand, even though I will probably support him in the next election. I can't make anyone my brand. I'm my brand. P-Dog Night is my brand. Okay. I reserve the right to criticize, or I'm not saying idolize, but support whatever I want to support and whatever I want to criticize. And if I make a politician or his plan my brand, then I can't, it makes it harder to do that. I can't say, I'm 100% MAGA, and then go, oh, wait a minute, I don't like that he did this. You know what I mean? I just can't make that my brand. The brand's going to go away once President Trump is gone. And I've never understood the people who were, so Obama worshiping either, or any president. I'm not going to worship a president. I'm going to appreciate the things they do right, and I'm going to criticize the things they do wrong. But anyway, this Gateway Pundit story is somewhat humorous to me, so I'm going to feature it because here it is. Any answers, Nancy? President. Oh my God, what the hell did that get on my screen? What is that? Anyway, any answers, Nancy? President Trump continues to rip Nancy Pelosi over her son's shady business dealings. This was devastating. Well, I don't know if it's devastating, but President Donald Trump shine light on Paul Pelosi's shady dealing with Ukraine. Oh, interesting. So this was in OAN News Network. Wow, Crazy Nancy, what's going on? This is big stuff. OAN exposes those Democrats and their Ukraine ties to Joe and Hunter Biden. And Nancy and Paul seems like it's a family affair. What's going on here? Pay attention to 113 in this video as it has been removed from social media. Okay, let's play the video. Maybe that's on OAN. Okay, hang on. What happened there? That takes me to a tweet. Give me a second. Okay, here it is. Here's the video that OAN has. This will be interesting.
Backfires on the Biden family. As the Ukraine scandal backfires on the Biden family, the Pelosi's may be the next to come under scrutiny. An old promotional video resurfaced on Thursday, more than 6 years after it was uploaded by an energy company which does business in Ukraine. The video starts out with Nancy Pelosi speaking about her efforts in office to push for clean energy.
Breaking our crippling addiction to oil.
Her message is followed by a promotional statement from her son Paul, who is a board member of Visk Oil and an executive at its related company Energy Lab.
My name is Paul Pelosi. Of course, I'm on the board of Viscal Oil, and Viscal's here today to talk about accelerating the future. And that's what Viscal Oil does. It uses technology to maximize the use of natural resources, like oil and other resources.
Just 2 years after this video was uploaded, Pelosi led a congressional delegation to Ukraine to discuss issues like energy security. And her son traveled to the country as recently as 2017 on behalf of the Corporate Governance Initiative, where he now serves as executive director. While the official reason given for his visit was to discuss a youth soccer partnership program with the Ukrainian government, clips of that trip are now reportedly being removed from online.
Yeah,
one of those clips was saved by...
Yeah, Paul Pelosi has ties to energy in Ukraine. So does John Kerry's stepson. So does Mitt Romney, one of Mitt Romney's kids. All these people who have ties to Ukrainian energy companies. Interesting. Anyway, it's kind of funny.
Anyway, let's see what else. Let's scroll through here a little bit and see if anything else new pops up. Weibo Jones has a new video out. If you know Weibo Jones, she has a new video on Everyone's a Health Food Expert. You can check that out. Eric Swalwell's tweeted this morning. Everyone's favorite Eric, the Congress representative from Ohio, I think. One of the ones from, is he from Ohio? Swallowswell? I call him Swallowswell. See, now here it is. See, now you bring up this, Eric Swalwell says, anti-Semitism is on the rise in America, and it's being stoked by real Donald Trump, who won't condemn it, and Trump's lawyer, Giuliani, who just this week said he's more Jewish than Soros. In case you missed it, my op-ed for What We Must Do. Now, this is fascinating because I'm sure this is in reference to the events in New York. Here's the tweet here. Here's the story. This is Eric Swalwell. Now, what's crazy is that this Eric Swalwell must hold Trump accountable for embracing anti-Semitism. Give me some examples, sir. What are you talking about? Hate is... Okay, this is Eric Swalwell's editorial. Let's see if you can find this convincing. Hate is on the rise in America, oozing like poison into our national dialogue and even into our government's official business. It's on all of us to call it out and tone it down. Is this what you're doing here, Representative Swalwell? Are you toning it down? Are you toning it down in this editorial? Let's see if you're toning it down in this editorial. FBI data shows hate crimes reached a 16-year high in 2018. No, it did not show that, Eric Swalwell. It showed nothing of a sort. Let's see what he references here. Remember that 2018 hate crimes report that they like to talk about all the time? Hate crime violence hit 16-year high, FBI reports. Bureau's annual report showed a significant upswing in violence against Latinos. No, it didn't. It did not. In fact, we went through that report in this show. And the FBI said you have to be careful. You have to be very, very careful using this data to make any sort of political points, because the number of agencies reporting crimes of this type and the reporting system they use went up by over 1,000 new agencies. So the FBI themselves said the report doesn't necessarily mean there's a rise in crimes, but a rise in reporting of various crimes. Anyway, even in California, which has some of the strongest hate crime laws in the nation, proudly celebrates diversity and inclusiveness, isn't immune to this troubling trend. Anti-Jewish hate crimes rose in California by nearly a quarter from 2017 to 2018, even while overall hate crimes in the state remained flat. In California, where they have some of the strongest hate crime laws in the nation. Wow. How could that be? If they have some of the strong... Oh, he's from California. That's right. If they have some of the strongest hate crime laws in the nation, and they still saw a rise in hate crimes, that must be significant. That tells you that hate crime laws don't work. Anti-Semitic robocalls made the rounds in the East Bay in and near my district during the 2018 election cycle. And just this past August, flyers accusing Jews and Israel of masterminding the September 11th, 2001 terror attacks were posted at several locations at Novato, also near the San Francisco Bay. Is that the hate crime? Oh my God. Yeah, that's those. There's some nuts out there who push that propaganda. Although there is I know what's the Dancing Man? If you ever look up the Dancing Man controversy, that's always a fascinating story. Anyway, this isn't happening in a vacuum. It's happening as President Donald Trump and his allies dabble in hate-baiting propaganda. What did he log here? And it's a Guardian article on Trump using hate as bait. Oh my God. Okay, when's this from? The Guardian. This is October 30th, 2018. So he's using this old article. U.S. president is following a consistent strategy of creating crises over immigration and race to mobilize white support for Republicans in the midterm elections. Yeah, that's an opinion article and whatever. That's not a fact article. It's an opinion article, but that's what he uses as his source for that. And I'm sorry, if the president, who's a big time supporter of Israel and has a Jewish daughter and son-in-law, is pushing anti-Semitism, I'm curious why. that because it don't make any sense. From refusing to unconditionally condemn the 2017 neo-Nazi rally in Charlottesville, they'll bring that up over and over and over again, to accusing American Jewish Democrats of disloyalty. What? Oh my God. President Trump has tacitly or explicitly empowered extremism in ways not seen in generations. You know, I don't think this latest attack in New York, where the guy came in and took a machete to some people celebrating Hanukkah, I'm very skeptical about the thought that guy might be a Trump supporter and maybe, that he took his cues from Trump to make that attack. It's just a hunch. Case in point, the president, his personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, far-right allies like former Fox News anchor Glenn Beck, and racist Congressman Steve King, for years have relentlessly attacked Jewish philanthropists, including Mike Bloomberg and George Soros. Soros, in particular, has been the target of vicious hate despite his tireless work to free Eastern Europeans from Soviet subjugation, save countless lives in Sarajevo during Yugoslavia's civil war, and provide scholarships to black South Africans during the height of apartheid. This type of work should be lauded, yet Trump and his enablers are quick to cast Soros as the leading role of an imaginary plot to dominate global affairs. Oh, I get it. You can't criticize George Soros for anything he does because it constitutes a anti-Semitic attack? What? His Judaism or his being Jewish has nothing to do with the attacks on George Soros. But you know what? That's his shield. Eric Swalwell is using that as his get out of criticism free card. You know, the George Soros it's funny because I got to talk about he puts a lot of money into local district attorney races or attorney general races. And, for example, the attorney, what do they call it in Chicago or Illinois? The something attorney general. It's basically the equivalent of attorney general. Put $400,000 into her race and got this super left-wing progressive attorney general elected in Illinois. Same thing in Dallas. Same thing. He put a lot of money into our attorney general's race. I can't think of his name right now, but yeah, he's gone from national politics to local politics and been getting these just whacked out progressive, who like the ones who won't, the guy in Dallas who won't prosecute property crimes for under $750. That's the open society. That's basically George Soros. But nope, we can't criticize that because you might be being anti-Semitic if you criticize George Soros. In 2018, Trump advanced the anti-Semitic rumor that Soros was paying refugees to illegally enter the country. Why is that anti-Semitic? Why is it anti-Semitic to make that claim? Oh, because Soros is Jewish. But you know what? Whatever. This year, Giuliani claimed without a scintilla of evidence that Soros led an anti-Trump plot in Ukraine. I don't think you realize how much... I don't think you realize how much influence Soros does have in Ukraine. And that has nothing to do with whether or not it's good or bad. He just does. This conspiracy theory has been debunked by numerous media outlets. Oh, and he links to the Daily Beast. Well, maybe not. And fact checkers. Oh, really? And a media outlet that first published the claim has put the reporter's body of work under review. Who first published the claim? A veteran reporter worked with Giuliani to launch the Ukraine conspiracy. Who might that be? I'm going to guess it's John Solomon. Yep. They don't like John Solomon. They hate John Solomon because John Solomon has actually done some reporting that doesn't fit with their narratives. Has he gotten some things wrong? Who knows? They don't like it fits with the narratives. They don't like the narratives he debunks, so he's automatically going to be wrong in their eyes. Whose body of work is under review? Yes, The Hill is reviewing work of former opinion contributor John Solomon. They don't like him, and of course the Washington Post doesn't like him because he debunks their narratives. At recent impeachment hearings, Representative Raha Krishnamurthy asked Fiona Hill, the former top Russian analyst on Trump's National Security Council, about Trump's confidant and newly convicted felon Roger Stone's rumor mongering that Hill was a mole for Soros in the White House. Hill likened Stone's rabid, baseless claim to the protocols of the elders of Zion, a time-worn conspiracy theory alleging Jews plan to run the world. Did he? Oh my God. Fiona Hill said that. Great. This is the longest-running anti-Semitic trope we have in the history, and the trope against Mr. Soros, George Soros, was also created for political purposes, Hill noted. It's an absolute outrage. Does that have anything to do with what's going on in New York, Representative Swalwell? Is Trump leading these people in New York to attack Jewish people in the streets? I doubt it. This Monday, my colleague, Representative Ted Deutsch, oh, he's a douchebag. Anyway, correctly called out Representative Stroib after Stroib twice attacked Judiciary Committee Majority Counsel Barry Burke as a New York lawyer, often a trope implying the subject's Jewishness, or just an obnoxious New York lawyer. There's quite a few of those. Do you know how New Yorkers tend to be a little bit obnoxious? Hopefully they didn't source Snopes, the Soros fundus fact-checking site. That's true. Hello, Heroic NYCO. I've never seen that name on my chat, but I'm glad you're here. Oh my gosh. No matter the purpose, the rhetoric is resonating from some of America's worst bottom feeders, emboldening them to speak louder with even more vile lines. For an example, an openly anti-Semitic Florida pastor and his radio host recently made international headlines by claiming the impeachment investigation is a Jew coup against Trump, led by people including Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff and Ambassador Gordon Sondland. Keep in mind that this pastor's YouTube channel has held a White House press credential in the past, and President Trump took a question from its reporter at a 2018 press conference. Okay. That cinches it right there, Representative Swalwell. I'm sorry. You got to decide. I mean, is he anti-Semitic or not? But he certainly has done things that Israel wants. Moving the embassy to Jerusalem, is that right? I can't remember. Holy crap. Simply put, Trump and his allies are so eager to double down on divisive politics. Really? Doubling down on divisive politics? Representative Swalwell and those who represent or follow Representative Swalwell, I have a pot over here, and you're the kettle. Good God. Double down on divisive politics. That's all everybody does anymore. Divisive politics is just the game anymore. And believe me, Eric Swalwell, you are one of the kings of divisive politics. Oh my God. Doubling down on divisive politics that they will embrace anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. I'm sorry. And the whole thing with George Soros, that's not an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory. That's a rich and powerful man conspiracy theory. Okay? He's a rich and powerful person. And he's got his fingers in a lot of political things, and he admits he puts his political fingers in a lot of political things. That's kind of a weird way to phrase it, but anyway, words matter. Hate must not be stoked, lest innocent people. Do you think the BDS people? Can you say maybe the BDS people? Do you think they cause people any feelings of anti-Semitism? Do you think the pro-Palestine people, do you think that they are pushing anti-Semitism? Okay. Now, whatever you think of the whole BDS and Palestine thing, do you think by criticizing Israel, is that anti-Semitic? Or do you give them a pass? Saying something against or criticizing something that is Jewish is not necessarily anti-Semitism, or somebody who happens to be Jewish, like George Soros. So, but that's let's talk about being divisive. You got to be kidding me. All right, let's move on here. Hello, cameraman Jay. I see you popped in. Good morning, Faithless. Good you're here. And Cynical Lindsay. A lot of people popping in and out. Mike Savage, how you doing? If I missed you, just put something in the chat and say, hey, you missed me. Furry Kitten, hello, how you doing? Evening. Oh, I'm not sure where you are where it's evening, but good thing that you're here. I'm glad you're here. So anyway, that's Eric Swallow, what a joke. Now there's a shooting in Texas. Oh gosh, here we go again. Breaking, a shooting reported at West Freeway Church of Christ near Fort Worth. One dead and at least two in critical condition, according to media reports. More to come. 3 shots were fired during the Lord's Supper at 1 hour and 23-minute mark of church's live stream, and I wouldn't recommend watching it. I shouldn't have. Okay, I'm not going to watch it. It appears that a gunman shot 2 church members at back of auditorium with a foot-long weapon. Then a member shot the gunman with a pistol. This is just based on me watching the video again. Screaming afterward in the church, so tragic. 2 quick shots at back, then another shot. Then at least 3 members, I believe, with pistols watching toward where the gunman appeared to fall. Or walking, not watching, excuse me. Dallas Morning News reporting that a second person died en route to the hospital. 2 dead and another wounded. Okay, so we'll be hearing about that today. 2 dead, 1 critical condition after shooting at White Settlement Church. What? This is a developing story and will be updated. 2 people are dead and others in critical condition. So the shooter was stopped by people in the church who were armed. That's interesting. All right. Moving on. Let's see. We have a lot of tools in our toolkit. An additional pressure can be brought to bear on North Korea, says National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien. Okay, that's somebody who was on This Week this morning. Okay, so something, if you're familiar with the quartering, he made some kind of a post saying that I have at least 100 female followers and 0 boob pics. What am I doing wrong? And our friend Old Gouch and Magog repeated it because it's been kind of a funny thing going on this morning. People have been making fun of him for it. So Magog, our good friend, good morning, Jaeger Pony. Our friend Magog also tweeted that, and our friend Old Grouchy Gamer gave him a boob pic, and I'm just going to show it to you because this is well, I don't know if it's a safe for work boob pic or safe for YouTube boob pic, but he couldn't find a boob pic. So here is a boob video. And here we go. Brace yourselves for the boob video. And there we go. Couldn't find a boob pic, so here's a boob video. Fantastic. That is one of the most prolific boobs in recent American history. Good for you, Old Grouchy Gamer. I'm sure Magog will appreciate that, and he'll reply to you. He'll reply to you in the proper manner. So there you go. Oh, I love Twitter sometimes. Sometimes it's terrible. Holy shit. Oh, someone look at this. Look what this is like the Loch Ness Monster. Check it out. Oh, wait a minute. Here, let me give you the right. Where am I at here? Check this. This is almost as good as a Loch Ness Monster sighting. Someone actually has a Mike Bloomberg for president sign in their yard. Oh, the glory. Oh, the glory of whatever. What else can we find funny on here? Let's see. This year, oh, good God. This year, this is Joe Stein on the problem with Wi-Fi and vaccines. Biden has to do better when faced with crank questions like these. Okay, hang on a second. So apparently a woman in Iowa asked Joe Biden a question. Let's check this out. I'm going to do this without even, we're going to check out this question without even filtering it. I don't know what it's going to be. But it says, watch, a woman in Iowa tells Joe Biden the 5G in the area is making people sick and their minds are breaking down. Biden replies, there's a lot of debate in the scientific community of whether or not 5G does what you're saying. It should be studied thoroughly. Oh my God, Joe Biden. Oh my God.
5G light here, LTE. And I can tell you that there's tremendous neurological damage happening within a mile range circumference of these towers. People's nervous systems are breaking down. Their minds are breaking down. They're dizzy, they're nauseous, they're sick. And this is going to be happening all over the country. And somebody has to do something to make sure that this is researched. We're all being experimented on. The FCC president is online saying,
oh my
there's
God.
No standards. We don't have time to make standards. Just put it out there and we'll see what happens. And what's happening is people are getting very ill. They're being driven from their homes. They can't find a place to sleep, to rest.
What is she talking about?
There's a lot of debate in the scientific community whether or not 5G does what you're saying. It should be studied thoroughly. We should have scientific evidence
my God.
that in fact it is or is not
doing
what it's asserted to do. Number one. Number two, we also have to take a look at what's happening with the entire industry in terms of our privacy.
Okay, the second part of his answer is fine. I don't think, first of all, I don't think, do they have 5G in Iowa already? Is it already up and running? Are people using it left and right? I don't even think I mean, I'm in a major city and we don't have 5G all around yet, and nobody's using it because most people don't have 5G devices. What is she talking about? And what is his answer? There's a debate in the scientific community about the effects of 5G. Is there? I haven't heard it. I think they would have probably, you probably would have heard about that by now. Oh, Joe, you're just pandering. What are you doing? What you doing, Joe? Hey, BG, you're right. I haven't missed you because you haven't said anything. You've been lurking. That's cool. I'm just happy that you're here. So real quick, I wanted, apparently the stream's been fairly consistent for the last 19 minutes at least. Okay, good for that. All right, what else? What else is going on? I'm just scrolling down through Twitter. Maybe the reason I don't scroll with the screen showing is because every once in a while something pops up that I really don't want to show. Let's see. Nicole Arbor says you can't fight hate. Hang on a second here. You can't fight hate. Activists keep making this mistake. The opposite of anti-Semitism isn't yelling we hate it. It's celebrating each other's traditions together and being real friends with people of every faith. So when something affects one of us, it affects all of us. Hey, that's pretty astute on Nicole Arbor's part. Do y'all remember who Nicole Arbor is? She's the one who got in trouble a few years ago for making the Dear Fat People video, but she kind of blew up after that. She's humorous. I mean, humorous. I say humorous as opposed to funny. Some people find her funny. I find her humorous, and she has kind of a just interesting way of presenting herself and whatnot. But yeah, anyway. If he's on 5G, he's only receiving a WAP signal. Yeah, I don't know, but poor Joe Biden. Good God. Terry Bradshaw, Terry Bradshaw's in a Doritos commercial. We're not wearing pants. Let's see. Oh, Ivanka Trump has been confirmed as the CES 2020 keynote speaker. Okay, whatever that is. Let's see here. What kind of organization invites an admitted fraudster barred from sitting on charity boards to be its keynote speaker? Well, so this is the tweet from someone named Karen Schwartz, and my friend ex-conservative Laura Walker retweeted it. What kind of organization invites an admitted fraudster barred from sitting on charity boards to be the keynote speaker? You know, Bill Clinton still gets to invited to make speeches. In fact, he made one in Russia where he made $500,000. Hello, JT. How you doing? In other news, vaccinations cause autism. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, Jill Stein got a question about that in last year's presidential race. And her answer was similar to Biden in that scientists need to study this or whatever, not really paying attention to what she has, not really paying attention to what she was saying. And so that got her in a little trouble. You know, you're questioning vaccinations. No, she's just answering a question in a pandering politician way. Good morning, Jim Beam. Good morning, JT. Welcome to the stream. Ivanka Trump confirmed. So let's just, I don't even know what the CES 2020 keynote speakers. Let's see. It's official. Ivanka Trump, President Donald Trump's daughter and advisor, will be on the CES 2020 keynote stage next month in Las Vegas. Oh, it's the Consumer Electronics Show. That's a big damn deal. And she'll be one of the speakers. You know what? Whatever. Ivanka Trump will join a keynote discussion on jobs and the future of work with Gary Shapiro, President and CEO of Consumer Technology Association, which produces CES. The talk is scheduled for Tuesday, January 7th. So people are going to be mad because Trump is on the stage. Nicole Arbor's a known idiot. You know what? I don't think she's an idiot. I just think she's goofy. She puts her opinions out there in a humorous way. I don't know. Anyway, 5G. Anyway, so that's why what kind of an organization invites an admitted fraudster? Well, no, she didn't admit anything. What do you mean admitted fraudster? Barred from sitting on charity boards. Because this isn't about charity. The CES is a consumer electronics show, and she's a big name. Good God. Let's see what else we got here. Perp who assaults, sucker punches, and wrestles the ground. An NYPD officer in Brooklyn, New York refuses to be fingerprinted, yet still gets released and isn't detained. How is this a thing in New York City? This is utter insanity. Yeah, I don't know that I would want to, I don't know if I want to live in New York City right now. It's just, de Blasio is really losing his mind. Hello, Seamus Derby. How you doing? Let's see. Graham calls on Giuliani to share info with Intel community to ensure it's not Russian propaganda. Okay, that's from the Hill. What else we got going here? Let's see. One person is reportedly killed. 2 others are in. Yeah, we talked about the Church of Christ in White Settlement, Texas. White Settlement, Texas. What a name for a town. Oh my gosh, that's the name of the town. Dear residents of White Settlement, Texas, may I make just a tiny little suggestion. You know what's coming. Perhaps have a change. What is it? Not change of address. A name change forum in your town. Of course, it could mean White Settlement could be a type of tree, and that's what they named the town after. You never know. So anyway, we've already talked about that. Got someone who was watching a live stream. Gosh, that's really sad. Someone here, Rudy ain't right, but he ain't knifing people in their homes, Opie. Yeah, that's someone responding to Eric Swalwell's article. Let's see. Uh-oh. Yep, they're talking about anti-Semitism on CNN. This is an American cancer, says New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, reacting to the Hanukkah celebration stabbings. We're going to increase police presence for all Jewish communities. You know, that all of a sudden is controversial. He's talking about increasing police presence in some of these Jewish, very Jewish areas. And there's people complaining about it. People mad that they're gonna increase the police presence in areas where these, attacks on Jewish people are happening. It's, oh my God, it's just one of those things that you go, what? Why would that upset you? Oh, because there's also black people in the area, and you don't want to increase police presence where there's people. Where it's, you know what? Please protect whoever's there. And holy shit, I don't know. Okay, let's see. Setting the record straight on Deir Yassin, the massacre that never happened. Okay, I don't know what that's Yid with a lid. We're gonna skip that. You know what, gang? I think I'm gonna call it a day. I've been on long enough, and I do appreciate y'all coming though. My name is P-Dog Knight, and I am not out of here quite yet, but I'm going to be in a minute. I want to just invite you to join me on the Morning Night Live during my regular times, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 3 p.m. GMT. We've done this once already, but I'm going to do it again. Also, since I am going to shut down the stream, I appreciate on your way out, if you haven't done so already, to snap the like button like you'd... I can't believe I almost said that. Just hit the like button on your way out. And also, if you want to, please share the stream. And in the future, if you want to do super chats or do donations to the show, you can do that through the Streamlabs link in the description down below, which is the @PDogNight Streamlogs /@PDogNight. Also, if you want to keep up to date on streams, you can either subscribe and make sure you hit the ring the bell, or you can also hit the follow me on Twitter, and I tweet out the show normally. But anyway, I got to call it a day. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for coming on this impromptu weekend night live. Thanks again. My name is P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Have a good rest of Sunday. Watch some football.
Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.